Tell you what, you want to make personnel moves like this? You want to make lineup decisions like this? You want to make in-game maneuvers like this? Just stay away. Stay on your road trip. Like, stay on it in perpetuity. But if you want to get serious, come on back on Friday. But bring Oneil Cruz with you. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer much more upbeat daily shots of Steelers and Penguins, where you found this. Cardinals 9, Pirates 1. They were almost no hit. They were one strike away from being no hit by Miles Mikolas until Cal Mitchell drove a ball to deep center over Harrison Bader's head, sparing them even further embarrassment, as if sending Bryce Wilson out to the mound wasn't going to be embarrassment enough. Wilson gave up 7 runs in the first 2 innings, most of those before he had a 5th out. The hitting was just garbage. The approaches were garbage. The aggressiveness was garbage. It's just, I didn't even mention they lost another game earlier in the day. That's how bad it was. And I already forgot to score that one. The losing streaks at 9, the embarrassment level on the part of the people running the franchise is at 0, where it's been throughout. I'm going to keep repeating this. And I apologize for those of you who are regulars who have to hear it way too often. But this was predetermined before spring training that this season was not going to matter to anybody running this team, meaning from the very top of baseball operations, Ben Cherington, on down, including the field manager. And they're okay with it. They're fine with this. They're all right with just, let's see what so-and-so's got. It's just one big, long, 6-month experiment. It's a tryout. It's a tryout. That's what we're watching. We're watching a tryout. And if you wonder why, when I brought up with Cherington after the Pirates returned home from that sweep in L.A., why he completely downplayed it, wanted nothing to do with it, especially when I asked if it was the kind of thing that could lift the spirits of people throughout the organization. That was the way I asked the question. It wasn't loaded. He knew what I was asking because I've asked it before. If winning matters to the psyche, the collective psyche of the entire organization, meaning the prospects, the instructors, the managers, those who follow the team, even front office workers, salespeople, everyone at 115 Federal, everything's just a little bit better when you have a series like that, when you have a good trip like that one that went through San Diego and LA. He wanted nothing to do with it. This is why he, Cherington, decided back in the winter that this season was going to mean nothing other than let's see what fill in the blanks got. That's it. That's what you're watching right now. That's what you're basically, for all intents and purposes, wasting your time watching. Well, after another loss tonight in St. Louis that'll extend this losing streak to double digits, it might, and that's might, occur to someone at some level of this operation that maybe they shouldn't be bringing that crap back to Pittsburgh. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern. That's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park. When I'm referring to that crap, of course, I'm talking about all of these tryout guys that they're dragging around, that are insanely blocking younger, more talented, more energetic, more enthusiastic, more relevant players from spots on the roster. Right now. And that's not to suggest that Indianapolis is overflowing with, for example, pitching. They're not. We're 3 years into this, and they're not. Separate issue. But if you're okay with carrying around Anthony Banda and Michael Perez hitting, is he even at 100 anymore? No pen, no catchers, no bench bats. If you're okay with that, even on some interim level like, we're just holding space till the kids come, then explain why the kids aren't here. Specifically, the kid. We don't have to wonder why Cruz is still there. To be clear, I'm not an idiot. It's about Super 2 and about making sure that the Pirates can pay him a little bit less 5 years from now. But that doesn't make the reason satisfactory. There seems to be, by the way, a general misconception about Cruz. He's not down there to preserve a year of service time. That passed a long time ago. He's down there now purely for the purpose of saving money a few years from now. This is where this franchise's priorities are. And yes, of course, that runs all the way up to Bob Nutting, to state the obvious. As does the significant and obvious lack of urgency to do anything. There's nothing that you can attach to Nutting, Cherington, or even Derek Shelton right down there on the field. There's nothing that you can say, wow, it looks like they're really, they're starting to get there. They're starting to push some buttons and make some moves that make you think that it's going to be important someday, possibly, for them to take winning seriously. And you know what? You can be one of those people that defends them endlessly and says, these games don't matter right now. What's the difference if they win 62 games or 68 games or even 72 games? What's that going to do? They're still not going to contend for anything. And I will repeat for the zillionth time that my contention is that winning raises all ships. Everyone becomes a little bit happier, more receptive, more confident, more productive, maybe more of a baseball player. But if they see and they feel at the player level that no one above them gives a flying you-know-what about the outcome of that game, don't tell me that doesn't stunt individual progress in addition to team progress. It just does. If you're David Bednar and you're pulled out of the bullpen last night with your team down 9-1, and you weren't used the previous night with a 6th inning lead when you had a chance to lift up Mitch Keller after a terrific start, maybe one of the better starts of his career, and you instead call on Banda to come in there and blow the game. Why? Because somebody decided in advance that this is going to be Banda's turn or this is the right matchup for a lefty-righter. Well, then, heck, you can hide behind the data and say, well, we just did what we were supposed to do, and that's that, as opposed to trying to win the game. There is value in winning the game. There is value always in winning the game that's in front of you. It does not have to be exclusive from development, from maturing. In fact, it's a great benefit to those things. These guys don't get that. And I'm honestly wondering if they will at any point. But in the interim, get Cruz up here. Don't do this. Don't do this crap when you're in Pittsburgh and you're in front of your paying customers. Get him up here. When we come back, J1Q. And today's J1Q comes from Steve Hamilton, who says, well, DK, let's sum up the day. 18 innings, 2 runs scored, 8 hits, 16 strikeouts, 5 errors. Year 3 of Ben Cherington. And this is the plan? Throw a lineup against the wall and see what sticks? Pirates fans everywhere deserve better. I got nothing to add. I've been doing this show for a while, and I take a lot of pride in at least attempting to address every question or entry that comes this way. I'm not going to do that today, Steve. This one's yours. This one's yours. You win the day. That's exactly the way people ought to be looking at this right now. Don't be making excuses for them. Don't be finding reasons to deprioritize winning as if this isn't competitive sports. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're not helping the process in any way by making this type of management acceptable. It's not. It's not. Not in any context, and definitely not in year 3. Steve wins. I appreciate your entry, Steve. I appreciate everybody sending in their J1Qs, and I appreciate everyone who listens to Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll do another one tomorrow to discuss what'll be a 10-game losing streak.